Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ophelia, the Mystic Muse. And today I'm going to start a series that is going to investigate, reveal, teach, guide, and share about how I have learned who I am, what my purpose is, and how do I achieve making that purpose happen. It has been a long, slow journey because you don't hurry things like this. Your life is an unfolding. It is a day to day, week to week, moment to moment unfolding of who you are in quiet ways, in deep, dark ways, in amazing, creative ways, and in humbling ways, and in many other things as well. Most of us have been raised to believe we are the person we are in this incarnation based on the projections and therefore the assimilation to be that person by our parents, by our grandparents, by our family heritage and lineage. Because it has not really been until these past, my generation, the baby boomers, that really started activating knowledge back in the 60s. We knew there was a new consciousness coming in. That is what Woodstock was about. That was what the fight against Vietnam War and the demonstrations and so many political things, all sorts of things in history that were driving a higher consciousness to come in and be recognized. Yet at the same time, when the powers that be that do not want the people to have power, to have a knowledge of who they are and why they're on this planet, and all the things that are natural desires, decided to put a kibosh on that. And so life became very difficult. It was instigated with wars, with violence, with power struggles, with authority, and a whole different range of things that changed the landscape of how we were living. In the 70s, what most of you probably do not realize, that the Middle East, Iran, Persia, Syria, Egypt, all of the countries of virtually all of them, let me put it that way, of the Middle East were very, very educated, very European, very culturally advanced, and high regards and traveled, and the breadth of their knowledge and the depth of their history for thousands of years was coming through, and it was being shared with the world. Yet that is also the time in the 70s where the fundamentalism in the Middle East and other places came to the forefront. And it is when women's rights were taken away, when women were put in the black robes and the habaya and veils and their rights taken away. It was out of fear and out of control and authority. Yet it was also in the consciousness of the time that the battle was up here for the consciousness of light to transcend and to go into what we knew. Well, I was in my 20s, 19, 20. That's when this is when we had these visions of knowing that the world was going to be better. We knew that we'd come in. Not our parents. Well, actually, my father did. He was a way shower. He was way ahead of his time. And he brought things in that anchored the technologies we have today he was a beginning of that after Second World War, where he fought on the front lines in both Europe and on the Pacific. My mother was she was a child that was born not wanted. She was given away. The name she was given at birth was taken away. She was never valued. Why did she come? Why did I have her as my mother? And why did I have him as my father? They have given me pieces that have taken me a long time to search out, to come to terms with, to understand, and to use in the work that I have been doing for a lot of years. It is how I've learned to know me, how I learned and started to see how I fit into the family of my parents and 4 children, and then how I connect with all of the world, the people, the friends. My school was horrible. I didn't fit. I'll explain why. And many of you will have some answers to why you don't fit, or why you don't think you fit in the paradigm, the projection that is being given to you as who you are. In these times, I hope to share wisdoms that I have learned. I will share things about me, that how I've learned them about me, so that you have a measuring stick to go, oh, that's how she looks at it. It doesn't mean that your brain and mind think that way. Yet what it will be doing is opening a possibility of a new way of having a perspective. Because if we are not shown how to have perspectives, then our vision is narrow. Our vision is straight ahead until we turn left, and then we can see what's left or right or behind us. But if you have this perspective of being able to see in a way with your eyes at the back of your head, did your mother and father ever tell you that? Oh my gosh, mine did. I would be doing something, or something would happen, and it would be brought up and I'd get caught. It's like, how do you know? And it's like, I've got eyes in the back of my head. I have done exactly the same ploy with my children when they were growing up. Mom, how do you know that? Because probably everything you try, you get away with. You don't get away with. I have also had the same thing happen. And so it's through experiences that we see what our children are. Yet there's also the very strong possibility, without conscious knowledge of who you are as an individual self, and who you are in relation to other people, whether it be your family of birth, whether it be your relationships, the casual relationships, the intimate relationships, whether it be the ones who are fathering your children or mothering your children and bringing them into the world, whether you're married or not, it doesn't matter. It's the same dynamics going to count. A piece of paper doesn't make any difference. It's the energetics of the DNA and of the soul matrix that has chosen 2 people to birth a live baby. I say live because we're in a very, very mixed up, sad, disjointed world of perceptions now. A world that would dearly love to make everyone a puppet, a pawn, a robot, controllable, thinkable, manageable. Yet these times are not that. They weren't that back in the 60s. They weren't back that in the 50s, the end of the 50s. Before that, the frequency of the consciousness was quite different. If I go back a little further to the end of the 1800s, we go into the middle of the 1800s and back and further on into the 1920s. If you are interested, I encourage you to research the great authors, philosophers, theologians, theosophical wisdoms, teachings about energy, healing, sound, agriculture, education. And you will find absolutely brilliant minds. Steiner, Blavatsky, Ledbetter, Krishnamurti, Einstein. There are many others that brought in incredible teachings, very high spiritual teachings, bringing them in and writing prolifically. You may not find the truth on the internet these days. It's all being tweaked out. But if you can find older and earlier versions of their books that go back and perhaps were published in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, before that, you'll start to find and read amazing information that they were bringing in. And apart from the ones, the scientists in general, who decided that they were basically bought out and by the establishment, by the ones that we are trying to get rid of still now, which is insanity. Those who wouldn't sell their souls to the establishment for their knowledge and for the abuse of power that their information, their innovations, their inventions would have been taken and abused for the worst. Every single one of them either were killed or their reputations absolutely destroyed. And most of them either died or became hermits, locked in poverty. It's not unlike some of them now, trying to stop those who have knowledge coming in, who have the courage to speak out, to share things that have been lies, and now trying to get the truth out, trying to get information that is more correct. You won't find the truth. We haven't earned the right to the truth yet. I truly believe that. There's a consciousness up there that goes, we have seen what you've done when we've given you the highest information in the wrong hands. It gets used in the wrong way. So now humanity in this time, and most especially after 1987, in August 16th and 17th at the Harmonic Convergence, when there literally was a vibrational frequency shift, dimensional shift on planet Earth, the universe, planet Earth. At the time, people like me were thought of as absolutely insane. My husband thought I was crazy. My family thought I was crazy. You can't believe that. That's all garbage. But guess what? It wasn't garbage. We knew. It was something that we had been birthed with, and we are holding ourselves the knowledge of this time. And the harmonic convergence really